Peace, family. So I'm back with another one. So today what I want to do is I want to talk to my chosen ones about they do not want to change. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to change. They don't want to ascend. They don't want to grow past where they are. You know what I'm saying? And what brings me to this subject today is like just kind of thinking about some of my old counterparts and male associates I used to vibe with, and just how life has transitioned for all of us. And it's weird, like having tools and information and the knowledge, the guidance, you got more experience now, like just having all these different tools and tactics and expressing them outwardly, you know, so that way the ones around me and the ones around y'all will kind of like have some kind of insight if they wanted to shift or change. And most of them do not want to shift or change, and they would rather be stuck in that cycle with the hamster wheel opposed from enjoying this life that we have out here. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of that diving in, it also makes me think of the spiritual standpoint, because that's where we take everything here from first. So it's like when I look at some of my associates and I engage with them, it's like I can almost see that they done signed over some kind of spiritual agreement with the opposition, so they're not allowed to move past a certain spiritual space. And the shit be crazy, you know what I'm saying? Because all the tools and tactics and everything will be right there. You have the energy and the motivation to push them and to guide them, even taking steps for them, you know what I'm saying? And they still are not allowed to leave that space that they're in. And that's how I understand and understood that all of this was a spiritual war. And a lot of things that we do that we don't feel comfortable with all the time is shit you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? If somebody punch you in the face, you gotta whoop their ass, then you're not gonna feel good at first. You know what I'm saying? That's all a process, but that shit has to be done. You know what I'm saying? Or else somebody will feel like they can keep punching you in the face every time they see you if they feel like it. So it's like, even when I think about situations with my moms and how much information I gave her and how patient I was being with her through this whole process, as far as trying to get her the right tools and knowledge and showing and telling, you know, not just showing with my physical being, but I have a daughter here now too as well. So all the shit that she used to say, oh, you'll see when you have a kid, you'll see when you have kids. Yes, that shit worked out great, because I saw and I realized that you won't doing shit. You won't doing shit. Being in this space with my mini and being, you know, a spirit guide, leader, whatever you want to call a pair that rents. I don't really care what title that's put on it. You know what I'm saying? It's like it put me in your shoes to see that you did not want to grow or change, and that the steps that you were taking, some of them could have quote unquote been forced, but you didn't have to stay in those spaces and operate the way that you operate and maneuver. And it's like you could see how weak these beings and entities are. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just speaking all spiritually. I use my mom as a physical because that's been my longest relationship that I've been on, you know what I'm saying? But it goes for anything in general, you know what I'm saying? Any kind of spiritual engagements we having with other beings and entities out here, especially the ones that you've been around for a very long time, and you can see that they haven't grown past a new car, new house, you know what I'm saying? New clothes, new shoes, you know what I'm saying? New lashes, new lips, you know what I'm saying? It's like we all understand that the material shit don't last forever. We already know that we cannot take it with us. So when we see people operating on this frequency or moving like that, we have to understand that that's a frequency they're vibrating on. You know what I'm saying? And for me, like dealing with my mom, or when I was dealing with her and dealing with my peers and shit, it's like I could see that they did not and they were not allowed to grow past a certain point. When I was communicating with my mom, I could see sometimes, or hear in her voice, how guilty she felt. I can almost see her like kind of in a spiritual imprisonment. But she was too weak to do anything about it. And that's just like the rest of these beings that's been around me that I've known that have been vibrating like that. Everybody hasn't been vibrating like that, but the ones that have, I can see that they're stuck in a spiritual bind. You know what I'm saying? That the opposition is not letting them go anywhere. They signed some kind of agreement. It's no different than when I had the situation with my brother, my youngest brother on my mom's side. You know what I'm saying? When I had to go away to do my time or whatever, it was like when I came back from doing that time, he was a completely different being. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. I know that he signed some kind of spiritual agreement. I know that he signed some kind of spiritual agreement. You know what I'm saying? Because he wasn't functioning or operating or maneuvering the same. And I already knew what kind of heart my little brother had. But he didn't, that wasn't the light that he followed and was supposed to go to. Well, he was supposed to, but he ended up getting pulled somewhere else. And I could see how he got pulled into signing those agreements. For one, I disappeared. I was gone for 3 years. And then my other brother had went to college. He basically went away. Then my mom was getting divorced. So he was basically in an abandoned spot and didn't have no direction or guidance. And it was like, you could follow your heart and do these things and probably feel pain or whatever, but you get to experience life wholeheartedly, or you could sign this agreement with the opposition and I can make you happy right now. You know what I'm saying? And that's when he started diving into all that other shit. You know what I'm saying? And for me personally, I only been a 420 being. You know what I'm saying? And I don't knock anybody else for if you do what you do. Just if you do it in moderation. You know what I'm saying? Do it in, you know, how you supposed to, if that's what you're gonna dive in and do. I'm not diving into that right now. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is, it's like, even with my little brother, when I engage with him and I see him, it's like he's still more concerned with going on cruises with another new girl, which who knows how long this one is going to be around, opposed from establishing any kind of relationship with his little ones. He got 2 of them, you know what I'm saying? And I'm the example for all of these beings around me, you know what I'm saying? And I don't mind doing that, but it's like I could see spiritually within them when I engage with them that they have some kind of agreement that they had to sign, which is why it's harder for them to pull themselves out of that space. Once you sign and make these agreements spiritually, signing contracts, it's no different than signing these contracts out here physically. They make them extremely hard to get out of. You know what I'm saying? So you have to look at that concept the same way. For the ones that be doing shit with ill intentions, you know what I'm saying? You got people who just stuck vibrating low, but they don't do shit with ill intentions, you know what I'm saying? But then you got people who are clearly doing shit with ill intentions, you know what I'm saying? Plenty of witchy shit attached to them and around them. But put the tools out there for them. If you haven't, put the tools out there for them. Work with them for a little bit in that space. You know what I'm saying? And you'll be able to see for yourself that they done signed agreements. They're not allowed to go past a certain frequency. You know what I'm saying? And reality is reality. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got all these goddamn siblings, and everybody is doing something for fucking self. You know what I'm saying? Even when certain ones was up in a higher position, or if they wasn't, like, everybody was doing shit for self. I was the only one trying to fucking bind everybody together. It's like, well, shit, if I know better, then let me do better and show some. You know what I'm saying? But even if that's not what I'm getting back in return, I have to put myself in them positions to get that experience and to gain that wisdom. That's why I do it, because you gain a lot of wisdom from putting yourself in these positions. And I don't duck no smoke, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like, once you realize that they done already signed these agreements, if they not gonna put the work in to remove this agreement or to come up with some kind of compensation for however you gotta do it to get out of contracts, you know what I'm saying? If they not taking the steps to get out of these contracts, then you already know what the vibe is, you know what I'm saying? So it don't matter how long you stick around them or dance around their energy, you know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, we want to be peaceful beings, but out here is war. So it kind of snaps you from being in a peaceful mind state, because now you're fucking at war. It's like, hey, I was just trying to chill and vibe, but now I'm sitting up here with my sword out ready to slice your motherfucking head off. Like, what the fuck is your problem? And this is why we have to just, for what I do is I give them a limited time about how I would invest my energy into them. So if I spend 30 minutes with you, then I expect only 5 to 10 minutes of wartime spiritually. You know what I'm saying? If I war with you the whole 30 minutes I'm with you, then this is not a space that I'm gonna be able to do any work in. And this is gonna be a space that I wouldn't want to do more any work in. It's 30 minutes. You could have gave me 15 to 20 minutes of no warring. But we constantly out here warring, and that's why our energy is bouncing and going back and forth, because 1 minute you like peace, 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 and I want to forgive everybody, and then you go outside and then somebody slap the shit out you with ill intentions and you ain't even see it coming, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, they done pulled this other side. They trying to pull the other side back out. No, they're not pulling it back out. It's war. So you have to be ready at all times. Yes, you carry yourself very peacefully. That's what I do. I carry myself very peacefully. But like how they used to do it in the Westerns, how they walked around with their gun out, I walk around with my swords and all my weapons out. So when you see me, you know I'm at peace, but you know that I'm ready for all the smoke. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't want to run up too long. Y'all tapping everything down below. Peace and love to the kings and queens.